Hello everybody. This is the bottom surface of the brain. Most important structures. This is very old circuit, but maybe someone will be interested in it. So let's go. On the most anterior part of our brain, we have two very important cortices, such as orbitofrontal cortex, which is very interesting cortex. It has its own sulcus, which runs within it and separates it into different regions, which called orbital sulcus. And on the medial side, we have uh, gyrus rectus. There it is. In the middle, we have olfactory sulcus, and exactly here there lies an olfactory bulb, which is responsible for perception of smell. This is a primary center for smell perception. Then it continues into olfactory tract, which subdivides into medial part and lateral part, medial and lateral. So then we have optic chiasm. So because there is eyes underneath the brain, underneath the anterior part of the brain, they have a visual tract, which is called optic nerve. Then these two nerves merges together here. There are some multiple cross sections, or this one cross section, and it's going again in this direction and this direction, and then all of that stuff is going into occipital cortex. On the lateral sides, we have temporal lobe. Temporal lobe which consists of three important gyruses or gyri, such as superior, middle, and inferior one. This is the lateral section of the brain or lateral surface. Superior, middle, inferior, with its respective sulci, such as superior temporal sulcus and inferior temporal sulcus. And there is superior temporal sulcus and inferior. Yeah. And then a little bit more medial, we have hippocampal gyrus, or I should say parahippocampal gyrus, which is very important one for navigation, for head rotation, and there are multiple function. But I think the most important function is orientation in space, basically. And yeah. And underneath it, or basically going deeper, like rotating inwards, there is hippocampus wise. Exactly, this is like continuation inwards, and there is hippocampus. There is uncus, which is end part of parahippocampal gyrus. A little bit further, there is a lingual gyrus. There it is, and in between these gyruses or gyri and these gyri, there is fusiform gyrus, which is primarily responsible for perception of faces. And you might wonder, like, why such a big sulcus is responsible for only one function. I'm not sure is there only one function or not, but it is logical because face recognition is very important. This is a key thing in our lives, and because of that there is such a big territory of our brain is devoted for that. And there is also a sulcus, which subdivides fusiform gyrus into medial part and lateral part. I don't know why, but there it is. There's definitely some functions. I suggest you to read about that. It's very interesting. So, middle part, central part, there is mammillary bodies, which is part of hypothalamus. So basically, deeper into brain, there is hypothalamus, very small but key structure, probably the most important and the most interesting structure. In front of it, actually in between olfactory trigone, this part, and optic chiasm, there is anterior perforated substance. This substance is basically a tissue which penetrated by teeny little holes, through which teeny little capillaries are going, basically blood supply. I don't know why this structure exists, but it's very interesting. And it's very important because if there's some damage, there are some problems. So mammillary bodies, which is a part of hypothalamus, and also a part of a very important circuit. I actually can show it. It called Pepys circuit. Basically, mammillary bodies is somewhere. I'm sorry, somewhere here, right? And there is whole pathway. It's very interesting. I will tell about that later. So this is a part of midbrain. This is cross section. I actually can show it. It's kind of somewhere like here. This is a cross-section of midbrain at the level of superior colliculus. What is superior colliculus? Let me tell you. Superior colliculus is here. superior colliculus. This is the back part of the brain. There is a hemispheres, and this is a how it's called? I forgot. Basically, midbrain, pons, and medulla. There are hypothalamus, and underneath hypothalamus, there's hypothalamus. And this is superior colliculus. So basically, we're looking at this section here. And there are those structures. And here, red nucleus, probably one of the most notable structure, which is red nucleus and substantia nigra. As you can see, substantia nigra is subdivided into substantia nigra part compacta, C, and reticulata. Why there is such subdivision? Because compacta consists of black neurons, which contains dopamine. This is such a vital structure. I mean, this structure is so vital. And reticulata part consists of GABAergic neurons. So basically, compacta part dopaminergic system, and reticulata is GABAergic system, which is main inhibitory neurotransmitter in our brain. Yes, red nucleus, substantia nigra. There is some periaqueductal gray. There is superior colliculus because this is back part and this is front part. And there's also some tracts. There are plenty of them. VTA, which is ventral tegmental area, which is also responsible for the dopaminergic neurons, and it's actually scattered because there are some parts. This is one part of VTA. There are some other parts like I'm not sure. Okay, I will tell about that later, but it's very interesting. Let's return to this one. So basically, that was a guide. Again, here, this is substantia nigra. Again, part compacta dopaminergic, part reticulata is GABAergic. This is the red nucleus. It is highly involved in motor function. There are some interesting connections to the thalamus and other stuff. And behind that, because this is back part again, there is very aqueductal gray matter, and there's a little hole, which is actually kind of a tube, which carries some liquid in it. It's very important liquid, and more on that later. Basically, this tube connects some of the ventriculi, which is lateral ventriculus, which is deeper into your brain tissue. Lateral ventriculi, then third ventricle, which lies literally behind, or no, not behind, in between these two thalami, somewhere there. And fourth ventricle, which is going deeper for periaqueductal gray, somewhere there, and it comes literally here in between cerebellum and pons. There is a little space which is fully occupied or surrounded by tissue, and then out of that tissue going into spinal into spinal canal or something like that, deeper. Actually, we can see it here. There's third ventricle, there is a tube into it, there's fourth ventricle, there is a tube, kind of like this, and then going deeper, exactly here. And that's it. This is a cross section of midbrain. Then we have splenium of the corpus callosum. Splenium is a kind of end part. I can show it here. This is mid surface of the brain. There is corpus callosum, which is huge white matter tract, which connects literally the most important tract, which connects two hemispheres, like right hemisphere and left hemisphere. There is approximately 200 million neurofibers, or just fibers, white fibers, I should say. And this is kind of rostral part. This is body, and there is a splenium. And as you can see, there are some important regions, such as 26, 29, 30. 26 is ectosplenial portion of the. Basically, this is retrosplenium or retrosplenial cortex. And there are some subdivisions. Like 29 is retrosplenial cortex, and 30 subdivision of retrosplenial cortex. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is a part of orientation and movement. Very interesting. And this is basically a part of that. Then, a little bit further back, gyrus cinguli. Again, the end part, which is here. Gyrus, cingulate gyrus, which has also some subdivisions, as you can see. There is some genial region, anterior, kind of central, posterior, and there is this mm, the most posterior part, and there it is. And here we have little piece of cuneus. Cuneus is also very interesting structure. There is collateral sulc fissure, which is subdivides the end part of gyrus cingulate gyrus, and cuneus. Cuneus is somewhere here, this part. Again, as you can see, it's subdivided from. Maybe actually not. Oh, I forgot. No, it's definitely here, somewhere here. There's precuneus, yeah, precuneus and cuneus. Well, there are multiple gyruses, I mean multiple sulci. Well, occipital cortex kind of here. At the back of the brain, again, there is a visual input from eyes. There are some eyes. There is some visual input. He's going somewhere there. There are some white matter tracts, if you will, within all of those brain tissues a little bit deeper. They are big and they are going here. This is lateral side, and there is superior occipital gyrus, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm wrong, but there's something like that. I will clarify it later because these circuits are very old, and I just decided to review it. And again, as you can see, there's 17, 18, and 19 Brodmann regions. And on the middle side, it's slightly different. It's going kind of from medial side, like 17 here, then 18 and 18 here, and 19 and 19 here. It's very interesting. And again, in the middle part, it is subdivided by calcarine fissure, and occipital pole from other regions is subdivided by parietal occipital sulcus. Basically, occipital lobe and parietal lobe, middle parietal lobe, so to speak, is subdivided by parietal occipital sulcus. And yeah, there is huge fissure, which is longitudinal. Longitudinal fissure literally separates two hemispheres, which is left and right hemisphere. There it is. And we also can see here a part of lateral sulcus, which we better can see here on the lateral side. There it is. It is literally subdivides kind of motor cortex, frontal cortex, and temporal cortex is going here and ends here, and it also has some subdivisions such as ascending ramus and horizontal ramus, which is also subdivides inferior frontal lobe, which is very interesting. And here we also have very important structure, which is called crus cerebri. Basically, these parts, more laterally to the middle, to the substantia nigra. These are white tracts. They're kind of badly seen here, but again, I can show it here. It is somewhere here or here, and it also has some subdivisions. It's very interesting. More on that later. But these tracts literally connect brain, which is actually prefrontal cortex, like presental gyrus, which is mostly responsible for movement, and it connects it with the spinal cord. These tracts are so vital for movement. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for your attention. I kind of a little bit abnormal now because I'm a little bit in a hurry, or no, I'm just actually panicking literally because I'm living in Russia very close to Ukrainian border, and I'm a pretty stupid person because I never realized that some military activity can be here. I'm just very scared. I'm very scared. I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't know will I survive or not, but thank you for your attention. I actually considered to leave this place. Again, I don't know how. It's very difficult. There are multiple occupied regions. I don't know will I survive or not. This is crazy lesson. I hope I will survive, and that's going to be a very interesting lesson. But thank you for your attention, and please appreciate your brain, because your brain is such a beauty, such a complexity, such an amazing machine. This is I don't know, undescribable. Please appreciate it. I wish each person in the world could start to learn about brain at least a little bit at the beginning of their life, which is at childhood, because this is such a power. And I also advise you to learn nutrition. Thank you for your attention.